All right. Hey, friends. Welcome to Prepare to Go There. My name is Peter Burchfield. I'm a leadership preparedness coach. I'm really excited to share this free training with business leaders. And it's a part of an ongoing project that I call the Prepared Leader Challenge. And you'll get more information about that at the end. But just for the sake of time, I want to dive right into this training. You definitely want to focus. So X out of any distractions right now, and let's begin the training. What we're going to do is talk specifically to business leaders. And the reason I'm doing this is because I have been working with many business leaders through my coaching work, and I've helped them get transformation. I've helped them find the internal relief that they need to bring the best of them to the work and not just the rest of them from previous days and weeks of, burnout and stress and confusion. And I've helped them find intentional results. And the way we do that is with a strategic framework, which you're going to begin to see in a little bit. And honestly, in my own coaching work, I've had to learn how to level up in these exact same areas. So I know how important it is for me as a business leader, and I know how important it is for others as a leadership coach. And so I'm calling this the Prepared Business Leader. And you're going to learn a simple framework with 4 strategies to outsmart the future on behalf of your business. And so prepared business leaders know what to focus on. I want to ask you, do you know what to focus on as a prepared business leader? If you are showing up to the new work week and you don't know what to focus on, then you are at a disadvantage. But prepared business leaders know what to focus on. And by showing up again and again and focusing on the right strategic areas, they're able to make uncharted progress towards the future business that they're pioneering. And they're not getting distracted with the current business that needs their, quote, constant attention. And so in this free training, you're going to learn a 4-part framework to sharpen your mindset as a business leader and actually go for it as a pioneering leader. Now, I'm convinced that the winners of the future are not going to be the most productive, but the most prepared. And so that's why I want to serve business leaders today. Maybe you have a service or a product. Maybe you already have a team established. Maybe you're a solopreneur and you are an established leader in one area, but you're also branching out and you're launching a new initiative in a undeveloped area. Regardless, here's what I know about you. Business leaders that I get to work with are very dedicated. They're dedicated people. They're dedicated to their families, to their team members. They're dedicated to their community, those that they serve. They're dedicated to help them get results. And it's because their ethos is the motivation to serve people and solve problems. And that is why I am so happy to show up today and to encourage you, to give you some practical coaching to help you keep going and keep growing in your own leadership. But here's what I also know about business leaders, and I'm sure this is your experience. Let me know if you resonate with this. Just drop a comment. Even though you're dedicated to serve people and solve problems, you're also probably too preoccupied with the current business that's happening in your face every day and every week to actually put the time and energy into the future business. In other words, to prepare for the future business that is happening in front of you. And this creates a tension, right? A tug of war. How much of our time and attention goes into the current business? How much of our time and attention goes into the future business? And I would just say, if you are the business leader, particularly the owner or the main person, uh, maybe a CEO or maybe a solopreneur, you're all your business has. And so it really does move at the pace of your own focus and motivation. And so that's why we've got to take time to actually work on this. So let me just pause right here, and I would love to kind of better understand those of you that are watching. Let me know in the comments what kind of business you're leading in. Let me know how long you've been in that business and what your main frustrations are or what your main goals are. And that'll help me to make more custom content with this group in the leadership community in mind. All right, so let's get back to the topic at hand. I'm pretty sure you've probably tried a lot already. You've been learning a lot about time management already, delegation, outsourcing, marketing, systems, on and on. And that's very good, but it can also scratch an itch. I call it the addiction to addition, where you're really not convinced that you have the tools you need currently to build the future business that you want one day. And so it creates this insecurity and then this restlessness to actually go chase new trails down to see if you can find something faster, get that silver bullet, so to speak. And the reality is, do you actually know how to pioneer your own business? And so, what I want to do is lower the temperature, take off the pressure, and help you really focus on the business you have in front of you so that way you can better serve people, better solve problems in your niche, in your field of pioneering leadership. And so, what you're hoping for is more margin for yourself so you can gain real momentum as a leader. And I know that that sounds impossible. It sounds unrealistic, and you've probably convinced yourself that you just need to keep running on that treadmill, and hopefully, maybe later on, years from now, you'll achieve some sort of rest, some sort of results that you would subscribe or label to success. But I want to let you know that maybe we together can sharpen the saw. Maybe we can get sharper, and I believe that we actually can sharpen our mindset as business leaders, and we can actually take those 5-year goals and we can accelerate to see how we can get to them much, much faster. So if you feel that you're lost in this unfamiliar territory as a business leader, this is going to help you. It's going to give you a simple tool right now that's going to reassure yourself when I'm not around, when your contemporaries and your friends are not around, when the business mentors are not around. You're going to have a simple tool to keep going and keep growing on a ongoing basis. You're going to be able to reassure yourself and remind yourself how to show up as a better prepared business leader. And we need that, right? So all you have to do is say this 4-part business owner's manifesto. And the manifesto is not magic words, okay? It's not about the words you say. It's about the mindset that you are practicing over and over again. Because we have to talk to ourselves as leaders first, right? There's this life principle in the Bible that I love, and it's talking about a hero in the faith. He wasn't a perfect person, but he was a man after God's own heart. His name was David. We know him as King David. He was the guy who took down Goliath the giant. But there was a point in his life he was actually really, really discouraged. And there's this key phrase, which becomes a life principle for leaders who want to thrive in every season of their life. And it says that David learned how to encourage himself in the Lord. He encouraged himself. And honestly, as business leaders, you're not going to get a lot of fanfare um, from a lot of people around you. You're going to have to learn, how do you talk to yourself? How do you encourage yourself? How do you keep yourself focused when there's nothing but craziness and crisis kind of looming around you? And business leaders have to learn how to show up prepared. You have to be prepared for the challenges, and you definitely have to be prepared for the opportunities, because they're out there. They're waiting on you and me. And so whenever you feel overworked, whenever you feel overwhelmed, you're going to pause. You're going to literally take a mental break, and you're going to remind yourself that you are a prepared business leader, that God has been preparing you for the current work you're in now. And by being faithful to that work today, it's actually a part of the process of preparing you for the next phase. And so to me, that brings a lot of value to the work I do. Even the mundane stuff, even the stuff that people don't see or appreciate, I'm not doing it for applause. I'm doing it for God's approval. And I'm doing it to be a servant leader through my business, whatever that business is. And so what I want to share with you is really just a sentence that you can remember, that you can work through as a business leader in your own time and in your own way. And eventually you can begin to say this more proactively as a roadmap to keep you on the pioneering side of your leadership journey. So what do I mean by that? Let me take a second and explain that. Let me know what's resonating with you so far in the comments. And so, at first, you're going to use this simple tool to remind yourself and reassure yourself that things are not, broken, falling apart. You're not going to drift to the extreme pessimistic side. You can work with your team members, or you can try to encourage other people. Hey, try to be positive in this. We're leaders. We can do this. We can figure it out. And then they reply, yes, I'm positive. We can't figure it out. We're losing. We're failing. And so we really do have to have a tool that shifts us back into leadership mode, where we say, hey, we're not the source of all the answers, but we're going to be steady, and we're going to keep working on seeing results and serving people well. So let's continue. Eventually, you're not just going to be saying this simple tool to reassure you, to kind of calm down the nerves. Eventually, you're going to use this as more of a strategic tool to actually get more and more ahead. And it'll help you become a better prepared business leader. So I really don't want you to overthink the word manifesto. I just picked this word out. Here's the definition. It's a written statement declaring your intentions. So that's all we're doing here. The words are not magic, but the focus is what's important here. What are you focusing on as a leader? And can you encourage yourself so that way you stay engaged in the work of building your business, serving your team, and getting results for the people that you care about? So here is this tool, a very simple reminder for business leaders today. I want you to practice reminding yourself, I know how to own, operate, organize, and optimize my business. I'm going to say it again. Man, this is going to help you as a business leader. You're going to show up better prepared for the challenges and the uncharted choices that take your business to the next level. You're going to remind yourself, hey, whatever I'm feeling right now, whatever we're facing this week, I know how to own, operate, organize, and optimize my business. Man, this is fire. This is going to lift you. This is going to remind you that you have the tools you need and that you just need to stay engaged to do the work of a pioneering leader. And I love that first line. I know. Man, I know how to do this. I am in this place not because I'm trying to prove myself to other people, but because God has already prepared me to be a servant leader in this field. And then you're going to remind yourself what you know to do as a business leader. You know how to own, you know how to operate, you know how to organize, and you know how to optimize. Those are the things that prepared leaders are focused on. And if you want to be a better prepared leader, you're going to remind yourself not only that you can do these four things, but that you must do these four things in order to take your business and your team to the next level. So I'm going to explain each one briefly, and then I'm going to give you an invitation to join a free email trail so you can get more in-depth coaching on this training. The first one is own. And this is what I mean by I know how to own my business. It means that you as a business leader can confidently say, I am emotionally prepared to make high capacity decisions and take responsibility for them. Man, that's what owners do. You may be the literal business owner, or you may need an owner's mindset in the leadership role you have. But regardless, it always starts with this first step that we have an ownership mindset. It means that we're not just going to make excuses when things don't pan out. We're going to take responsibility for the way we're thinking about these operations, for the way we're interacting with people on our team, for the way we present ourselves, for the way we prepare ourselves to be leaders. You have to be emotionally prepared to be a business leader. And a lot of times we think business is just, this binary transaction, ones and zeros, it's just about the dollars and making the money. And it's way more important than just having a transaction with some strangers. It's about building relationships that will actually serve them and serve you, win-win relationships that go into the future. Otherwise, what are we doing this for? We're just wasting our time, right? And so we have to start with that internal resilience, that resolve that says, hey, I am emotionally prepared to be a leader today. And that means that I'm not just going to drift to the path of least resistance. I'm not just going to do things that justify my time in the short term, but I am emotionally prepared with an owner's mindset to actually make the high capacity decisions that are going to build the future for this business. All right, number 2, I know how to operate my business. Can you say that? Do you really know how to operate the business you're in? Do you understand the core needs? Do you understand the market? Do you understand the people you're serving? What their dreams are, their hopes are, their frustrations are, their pain points? Do you know how to operate that business? In other words, do you know how to see it function at 100%? And so this is kind of another side of the business leader equation. I am mentally prepared to focus on the revenue making parts of my work. I'm mentally prepared to focus on the aspects of the business that operations create revenue for. And what you're saying is, I will not drift to the path of least resistance. So this is where you actually get clear on the operations. Every business has operations. Every business needs certain functions to operate effectively. And so that's the number one, the reminder for business leaders Hey, if you're starting to feel overworked, if you're starting to feel overwhelmed, you need to take a pause. You need to pause and disengage, because otherwise that anxiety is going to accelerate to a level of paralysis, and you can't get paralyzed as a leader. Come on, friends. There are people in your sphere of influence that are counting on you to stay emotionally engaged and personally committed to serve and lead well. And so you have to get clear on a strategic level. How does this business really operate? And don't do guesswork. You have to have a framework. Are your business operations just a bunch of guesswork where you're not really sure how this thing functions well, how it makes money, how it, is serving people, solving problems? Or do you know? Have you actually put in the time and effort to create a framework that maps out all of the operations that are needed to function successfully, to function sustainably? Right? And you don't want to be building a business on your own back. You want to give of yourself. You want to sow and sacrifice, because you see both the purpose of this work as well as the potential of sharing this work with other people. And it's going to help change lives. It's going to get people results. It's going to alleviate pain points that other people would be carrying for years and years without this amazing service, this product, this thing that you do. So I just want to challenge you to remind yourself first, I know how to own and how to operate my business. All right, let's keep going to the third part of this framework. I know how to organize my business. You have to remind yourself, hey, if things are out of whack, if things are off track, I know how to organize my business. I've done it before. I can do it again. We have to keep our hand to the plow and keep going. Right. And so, what do I mean by this? Because sometimes when we would say, I know how to organize my business, we get way too micro. We get stuck in the weeds. We think that organizing the business is justification for micromanagement. And it's actually the opposite. Because when I say organize my business, I don't mean I know how to uh, tidy up my desk. I know a perfect labeling system. I know that, how to set the files. And this is where we get really geeky in the productivity space. And we're always trying to learn and relearn new kind of productivity hacks to get incrementally ahead. And we're wasting years to save minutes. Come on, somebody needs to hear this. Let me know in the chat, in the comments, write a comment right now, and let me know which of these four parts of this simple framework is speaking to you right now. Because I want to help business leaders be better prepared and more fully present to actually lead in their team thing, where you're engaged in both the current business, but you're investing as well in the future business. And I want to let you know it's possible. There are actual winners right now in your field, and there's no reason why you can't be one of them. You have to remind yourself, you have to reassure yourself that you are a prepared business leader. And then not only are you just going to give yourself a pep talk, you're going to give yourself a roadmap to actually do that. So you have evidence, real evidence that you are a prepared business leader. You're not just saying nice things to yourself, right? Flattery just makes you flatter. But if you will give these real affirmations, and then you prove with evidence, with action, that you know what it takes to grow this business in a successful and sustainable way, you're going to have proof of concept. You're going to be more excited about the work, and other people will begin to trust you because you have a track record of doing so. So let's get back to number 3. I know how to organize my business. Here's what I don't mean. I don't mean that you have all these systems, labeling systems, and everything is just like perfectly in order to a hilt. When I say I know how to organize my business, I mean you're looking at your business as an organization. You have an org chart. You have a well-functioning org chart. In other words, I am relationally prepared to organize other people into effective roles for this business. Now, I understand you may say, Peter, that's nice. I'm a solopreneur. I like it that way. I'm just going to lead myself. But friends, I just want to encourage you. There's no way you're doing all the work alone. You have peers, contemporaries, freelancing, outsourcing. You're getting business from other people, and at some level you're going to be interacting with other people. So I don't care what structure you use. The point is, you know that you are not an island, that you have to have great working relationships with other people, with other humans, right? You're not just trusting AI to replace you and do everything instead of you. You want to become a happy, whole human. You want to make a positive contribution in your world. You want to set a good example for others. You want to be a prepared business leader. So that's what I'm referring to. You are emotionally prepared to own the business, meaning you're making real choices with real consequences and you're stepping up to the challenge. You understand that you have to be an adult, right? So you've got that part. You also know that you have to be mentally prepared to operate this business. You know what are the revenue making parts of your business. And so you have an operation around that. Now you know how to organize your business. And here's another way to say it. You want to remind yourself that I can detect when people are not doing their job, including myself, due to cluttered thinking or mismanagement. This is a signature strength for pioneering leaders, people who are navigating and creating the future of what they do, because they realize that it's not okay to do business as usual, right? Business as usual leads to a plateau. It doesn't lead to a new future. It doesn't lead to a brighter, braver version of your business. So we have to detect when there is clutter, when there is mismanagement in our own roles, our own working roles. And we have to say, no, we are organized in a healthy way. We are organized in a functional way. We are organized with high capacity results in mind. We're organized with really optimal, life giving work relationships in mind. We're not organized in a way that drains each other. We're working in a way that empowers one another, that motivates one another to keep going for it. And so organizing your business is a people-powered strength for prepared business leaders. The last one is I know how to optimize my business. This is really fun, but it's also very important because this is how we stay future focused. And this is where you say, I am physically prepared to invest my time, my work, my effort, my energy, whatever you want to say, in my future business while I lead my current business. It's not one or the other, it's both and. I did a free training called Your Expansion Era, and I described the double-edged sword, the double-edged approach that pioneering leaders have that make them successful in this disruptive landscape. They know how to establish where they are. They know how to expand to where they need to go next. And so it's not one or the other. It's both and. I can remember when I started this coaching project, I called it Prepare to Go There. It's about getting really clear on where you need to be in the future so that way you can actually put in the work to prepare to go there. And when we're unclear and we're unsure, then we show up into the future or the next phase not ready to seize the opportunities that are in front of us. So, what you're saying to yourself and to your team is, I refuse to lose today's opportunities to pioneer my future. Now, it doesn't feel fun being a business leader, um, you know, on a Monday or on a random day, right? When you're just doing the normal day to day stuff. But a pioneering leader has a different approach, a different perspective. They say, hey, the future is not somewhere way out there. No, friends, the future is happening right now, because the choices you and I make today are going to ripple out negatively or positively into the next version of what you do. And so I want to remind you, I know how to optimize my business. I am physically prepared to put in the work. So we're learning and we're leveling up consistently. Now you say, man, Peter, this is some really simple stuff, right? But it's the discipline to stay focused on the right things that get you to the next level. So, where does it begin? I want you to think of your business as a pioneering journey, right? You're out there in this wilderness environment, you're hiking, you're camping, whatever you want to say. You're going through unfamiliar terrain, and you've got this big mountain ahead of you. How are you going to scale that mountain, which is the next phase for your business? How are you going to outsmart the future on behalf of your business? Right? There are things that you don't know, things that you can't predict, things that you don't feel qualified for, and yet it shouldn't matter. Why? Because you are a prepared business leader. You're prepared emotionally, you're prepared mentally, you're prepared relationally, you're prepared physically. And eventually, you're going to see your own territory expand by doing the right few things over and over again. Someone that I really appreciate, Craig Rochelle, he says average people do the right things like once a year, but successful people do what average people do 1 year every day, or once a year every day. So it's having the focus to work on your future consistently, day in and day out. And that's why we have to remind ourselves, because we can get cluttered. We can get inactive. We can get paralyzed. We can get sabotaged. We can get just in a funk. We can kind of drift into all of these side projects, right? And instead, we have to stay future focused. So, how do we stay focused on that journey over and over again? Well, let's say you're starting with step one. I know how to own my business. You got to do the inner work. You have to say, am I emotionally prepared to take on this challenge? Right? Are you going to count the costs? And are you going to count the commissions? Meaning, you're not just thinking about all the bad things that could happen. You're thinking about the great things that need to happen for you, for your family, for your team. I mean, one of the things that really inspired me with my coaching work is thinking what I could make possible when I serve other leaders. What is possible when I help leaders get their breakthrough? What is possible when I help other leaders serve their team and show up better prepared and more fully present to engage in those front lines that I'll never be on? I'll actually be able to make a positive investment in organizations and in communities that I can't physically be in. Now, that's really exciting to me, but I have to own that mindset. So I start with an owner's mindset. And then after you get that, then you have to learn, okay, how would I operate this business? What are the operations of this business? How do I map it out in a way where I'm not lost every third week, where I'm actually like zigging and zagging effectively? And then say, okay, I'm ready to add people to this equation. I'm ready to expand my team territory. I am organized in my own work. Now I can bring other people in an organized way. I can involve people in a way that doesn't stress them out. I can involve people in a way that doesn't stress me out. Why? Because I'm organized to work effectively with other people. And we're so organized on the people power side of this that we actually enjoy working together. We feel like we're winning when we work together. And so it creates this positive snowball effect. And then finally you say, hey, I'm ready to optimize. I know how to consistently learn and level up for the sake of this future business. And what this does is it just over time, it creates scale. If you just keep putting in these steps over and over again, and you have to remind yourself, you got to cut through the clutter. You have to cut through the discouragement. You have to cut through the decision fatigue. You have to cut through all of these negative emotions that are going to come at you. And you have to say, no, I am a prepared business leader. Now, the next step is let's continue this conversation, but we're not going to do it here and now in this training. I wanted to make available an extended email trail. I'm so excited about this. Let me take 30 seconds and tell you how this works. Somewhere near this video, go below and click the link that says email trail. And just by sharing your name and email, you will get to go further in each of these directions. You're going to get a short series of emails with more coaching videos similar to this that take you deeper into each of those 4 areas. So let me show you that journey that we're going to go on. The first video, you're going to see the owner's mindset. We're going to talk about the difference between a stressed out person who's just kind of getting run by the business versus an owner who knows how to go beyond busyness as a business leader. Then we're going to talk about tools that you can use to map out your operations. This would be very helpful for beginners or for those of you who don't really like the operations side, but you have to get it figured out so that way you can hand it off to the right people next. I think a lot of business leaders that I work with personally are somewhere between checkpoint 1, checkpoint 2. All right. Now we're going to go to the third checkpoint, which is the organizational paths. We're going to revolutionize the way you think about an org chart. You will never disdain your org chart again. You are going to love that org chart because you're actually charting new paths to empower more people. And then finally, we're going to finish up with optimization tools. Yes, we can get into the geeky stuff and look at different softwares and tools like that. But what I really want to give you are tools to optimize, tools that help you consistently level up your business. All right. So there's other things we'll get to. Business mindset has a massive advantage. We're going to talk about moving from overworking to greater opportunities. We're going to rethink your org chart. And then we're going to help you understand the tools you use so that way you can innovate and optimize consistently. So keep going, guys. Let's not stop here. You'll get on-demand content for this specific trail, and you will learn how to be a better prepared business leader. Now, last thing I'll say is this is a part of a bigger conversation where I serve leaders in many different fields, not just those that are in a business or growing their business, but ministry leaders, creatives, online influencers, you name it. There's a whole group of us. I call us the pioneering leaders, those that know how to navigate and create the future of what we do. And leaders need encouragement. Leaders need community. Leaders need coaching. And so this is my way of serving this community of leaders. We're future focused. We're relational. We're risk takers. We have a mission that matters. We know that our values are the way we win in the long term. And we're not going to settle where we are because there are so many people counting on us. And there's so many more people that need to get engaged with the work that we do. And so that's why we're willing to keep pioneering even through the unfamiliar and disruptive territory ahead. So there will be another Prepared Leader Challenge. This is where I actually walk with you in a live coaching environment. I also have a version of this where you can get on-demand content. But I really want to challenge you, sign up for the next Prepared Leader Challenge. Okay? So you got two options. I really hope if you are a business leader that you will go even deeper in this specific conversation. But even zooming out, maybe you just found this and you're like, wow, who's this guy? How can I see more of whatever he's talking about? The next step for you would be join the Prepared Leader Challenge. Let's see if that is it. All right, that is it. So thank you guys so much for taking this free training trail with me. Keep going, keep growing on the email trail. And remember, I'm here to pioneer with you. If you want to know more about me, my name is Peter Burchfield, and you can check it out with some of the other videos that I have nearby. Have an awesome day. Keep pioneering the future of what you do.